Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. This is the second part of the dependency injection playlist. And in this video, I'm going to show you an application. I've built this application. The application takes some data about the different countries of the world from an API and displays this data on the screen. As you can see, the name of the country, the capital of it, the flag of it, and the population of the country is written here. This application doesn't have dependency injection. I'm going to explain this application to you, and then I'm going to implement the manual dependency injection on it by slight change, only 1 or 2 lines, and I'm going to explain you why we need dependency injection in such application that has a connection with a remote database through API call. And in the next video, we are going to build this whole application from the scratch using a Hilt library. And in the fourth part of this playlist, we are going to rebuild this application again, but this time by using the coin library. So in total, we are going to see this application without dependency injection by using Dagger Hilt and by using coin library. And I think after these 3 videos, completely you will understand why and how we should use dependency injection. Let's jump in. Okay, here I have this application. Here I have an object, and inside the object I called it network module. I have the setting of retrofit, and as you can see here is the website that is the API provider. You can see a lot of data about the countries inside this API and inside the response that we are receiving from the API, but I used only the name of the country, the population, the capital of the country, and the flag. Then after building this retrofit setup, we have a reference of API service, which is an interface here, and we are going to create this API service. And inside the interface API service, we have the endpoint and a suspend function. After calling the API and using the get, the received data will sit on this list out of the countries item data class. Here I have a package called module, and inside it I have some data classes that the received data should sit inside them. And let's take a look at this main data class. As you can see, there are a lot of data about them. Alpha code 3, I even don't know some of them. The borders, that means the neighboring countries, and like the capital that we see, flag, genie, if the country is independent or not, and you can see the boolean, the language of the country, list of languages that people in the country are using it, latitude and longitude of the country, if they have a native name for their country. You can see a lot of different things, the time zone, and etc. Let's pass out this. Okay, and here I have a repository. Inside the repository I have a suspend function, fetch countries, and the data will sit on this list and will return after calling the network inside this API service. So the final response will sit inside this list. Here in the view model I have a value an object out of this repository class, and here another object, another variable, call it underscore countries. It's a private variable, and the mutable state flow of the list of the country items is created here. So the data will sit inside this repository. Then through this list out of the repository, the data will sit inside these countries, and finally will sit inside this variable. And from the main activity or the other screens, we can just call these countries and fetch the data. Here we have init block, and in the previous videos I told you what is init block. It's just like on create. As soon as the view model class is created, anything that is between these two brackets will be called and will be launched. So here inside this function, I have a view model scope that launch. We use coroutines and a try catch. We are calling the repository fetch countries function, and the value of the response will sit on the underscore countries.value, and we can use it. And in the catch, we have a log to display any possible error. That's it till now. Let's go to the main activity. Here in the global scope, we have an instance of the view model, and we introduced the view model and we passed it to the main screen. And inside the main screen, as you can see, we have a card, a row, async image, and a column containing 3 text to display the data, the received data. And finally, we have the lazy column to display all the data. And this is the lazy column, this is the card, async image, text, text, text. That's it. Okay, in this application, the view model depends on this repository, and without this repository, the view model cannot work. So if we want to give the dependency of this class to it, we can just copy this line and comment it and paste it here. Now the class has the dependency in the constructor of this class. Let's go to the main activity, and here country repository, introduce this class, and here the error should be gone. Okay, just like this. So the manual dependency injection and the constructor dependency injection, I told you in the previous video that these two factors are same, are equal. It's just like this, to give the class the thing that the class needs it, the thing that the class needs it, and it should work again. Let's check it. Okay, this is the application and it works like a charm. So we implemented the manual dependency injection here, and after that also the app works. So the main question still remains, why do we need to do this? If it works like this, why I should use it like this? In the previous video, I told you the main purpose of the dependency injection is to have an entry point to give the fake data to our application to test it. Here we have the repository to do the test. I can build a fake data, just a picture of a flag or whatever I want, a name, a number, and another name for the capital of the country, just like we have here these four factors, and uh, just send them to the data class that we have here as a sample, and in the view model we will inject them, we will give them, we will enter this fake data through here between these parentheses to our application to test it. So later I'm going to build a playlist, a full playlist of unit testing, and you will see if you have the dependency injection, we can easily test our application. So the main purpose is to give fake data to our application to see if it works or not. And the next purpose is to make the application able to be expanded later if we need multiple view models, and if we had multiple repositories, we can add all of them one by one here in the constructor. And also, if you want to follow the clean architecture and you want to use the use cases, the dependency injection will help you to do this. And also, if you want to implement the error handling, on that case also the dependency injection will help you. So these are the purposes that we are using dependency injection in such application. The whole code, this code will be uploaded in my GitHub, and I will put the link down below in the description, and you can find them and copy them. But let's take a quick look at the library version. Here, let me zoom a bit. We have these 6 lines for the versions, and here we have these 6 lines for the dependencies. You can pause the video and write them if you want, or you can copy and paste it from my GitHub. And finally, in the build.gradle modular app, you can see the name of the dependencies here. And these 6 lines are the dependencies that you need to implement this application. So that's it. There is no any other plugin here, and in the time that I'm recording the application, it was 34, and I changed them to 35 in order to prevent any error. And yeah, be with me till the end of the playlist to be familiar with dependency injection using Dagger Hilt and using coin. I'm going to put the link of the whole playlist in the first comment of this video, so you can check the comment box, comment section, and maybe in the time that you are watching this video, still we don't have the third and the fourth part, but as soon as I build them and publish them in the channel, through that first comment, you can have access to the full playlist. Till that time, see you in the next video, and happy coding. See you.